A guy gets the promotion he's been chasing for 3 years. 42% raise. He tells everyone. The group is genuinely happy for him. 6 months later, his savings account is flat. Not down, just flat. Nothing moved. The market didn't crash. He didn't gamble. He didn't get scammed. Something else happened between those two moments. And almost nobody talks about it. Max. Today we're looking at one specific pattern that lives in your social circle, not your portfolio. It's not about budgeting harder. It's about what happens the moment other people learn how much money you actually have. Imagine you finally hit your first real savings number. Maybe it's $20,000. Maybe it's 50. You worked for 2 years to get here. You skipped things. You said no a lot. Now the question is simple. Do you tell anyone? Most people think this is a personality question, an introvert versus extrovert thing. It isn't. It's a structural question. Because the moment money becomes public information, it stops being yours alone. For mechanisms get activated the second the news leaves your mouth. And none of them ask your permission before they start running. 1. A social tax that nobody bills you for but everyone collects. 2. Lifestyle disclosure pressure that adjusts your spending before you decide anything. 3. Expectation inflation, a contract you never signed but everyone treats as binding. 4. The quiet compounding advantage. The structural reason silence builds wealth faster than visibility. The biggest risk to your first serious money isn't the market. It's the people who find out it exists. Let's break down why. You know this moment. The dinner where nobody has claimed the bill yet and everything still feels equal. Then someone says something, a new job, a raise, a number, and something in the room recalibrates without anyone deciding to. Nobody assigned you the role. Nobody voted. It just happened. And now it's the permanent version of that dinner. Mechanism 1. The social tax. The moment you're known as the one with money, the dynamics in every room you enter shift slightly. Not dramatically. Not all at once, just slightly, and the slight shift is what makes it hard to name. Economist Robert Frank built an entire framework around this. He calls it positional externality. His argument: people don't evaluate their consumption against an absolute standard. They evaluate it against their reference group. Research by Charles, Hurst, and Rousinoff published in the Quarterly Journal of Economics extended this to visible spending. They found that visible spending functions as a status signal within a reference group. The purchase isn't really for you. It's for the audience. And once you become the signal, the audience starts expecting the next one. Which means the moment your group knows you have money, the signal you stop sending starts costing you too. The Federal Reserve's 2022 survey of consumer finances shows the top 10% of families hold 69% of total wealth. The bottom half holds 2.5%. The gap between your tier and the tier you're seen as occupying is what gets taxed. Here's the concrete version. Person receives an inheritance. $15,000. Not life-changing money. He mentions it at a cookout. Just once. Not bragging. Just answering a question about a recent trip. Over the next 90 days, 3 dinners where someone forgot their card. 2 loan requests. 1 friend stops calling. The $15,000 never left the account. But the cost arrived anyway. That's the social tax. The real damage isn't the money that left. It's the energy spent managing new dynamics. The awkward numbers. The strained dinners. The friend who went quiet. That's the real line item. But here's the part almost nobody catches. The tax wasn't on the money. It was on being known. The exit is small and specific. Don't share dollar amounts, ever. Not because you're ashamed, because amounts attract behaviors. Think about the last time money arrived unexpectedly. A bonus, a tax return, an inheritance, that first hour. There's a window right there, maybe 30 seconds, where you decide who finds out. Most people don't realize that window closes permanently once it opens. Mechanism 2. The lifestyle disclosure trap. Announcing a financial gain doesn't just share news. It activates a pricing shift in your social environment. The next lunch isn't where you used to go. The next happy hour isn't your usual spot. Nobody made you upgrade. The environment did. And the environment doesn't refund you. There's a name for why this works on your brain so reliably. Behavioral economist Richard Thaler called it mental accounting. Your brain treats a bonus and a paycheck differently, even though they're the same dollars. Windfalls feel optional. Optional money gets spent. Allocated money gets saved. The moment you announce a bonus, it becomes socially optional money. A 2021 paper in the Journal of Experimental Psychology ran 4 experiments tracking how workers adapted to income changes. The finding: people adapt quickly to their own income going up. But adaptation to relative income, how you compare to others, happens much more slowly. The thrill of your own raise fades in a few months. The awareness others have of your position lingers for years. Translation: your brain adapted in 90 days. The expectation your announcement created never did. That asymmetry is the trap. You stopped feeling rich months ago. The people around you never got the memo. Your brain adapted in 90 days. The expectation never did. That gap is years of pressure on a budget that already moved on. Concrete version: a developer gets a $15,000 bonus. Tells his team Slack. Doesn't think much of it. Week 1, lunch upgrade. Week 2, covers a leaving dinner. Week 3, gift for a coworker. Week 4, weekend trip with the team. 2 months in, bonus gone. No single purchase he can point to. No upgrade he made on purpose. When he traces it back, the biggest line item isn't one thing. It's 17 small things that moved the social floor up. Just a baseline that moved while he was looking the other way. That's the disclosure trap. The exit: treat a windfall like it doesn't exist socially. The deposit hits the account, not the conversation. You've been to this dinner. The one where everyone still treats you the same. Before anything changed. Now think about the version of that dinner after they found out. Same food, same people, completely different room. Mechanism 3. Expectation inflation. Once people know what you have, they form a private opinion about what you should do with it. That opinion becomes a contract you never signed. But everyone in the room treats it as binding. The economists who named this best are George Akerlof and Rachel Cranton. They called it identity economics. Their argument: people make economic decisions partly to match an identity. Not just their own, the identity others assign to them. The moment you're cast as the one who made it, every financial decision becomes a performance of that role. And here's what Akerlof and Cranton showed. Leaving a social role carries a real cost. It's not just awkward, it registers as a loss. A 2009 field experiment by Shang and Croson published in the Economic Journal found something that applies directly here. When donors learned what others had given, they gave more. The reference point shifted what felt like the right amount to contribute. Nobody told them to give more. The information alone was enough to rewrite the expectation of what someone like them should do. Here's the mechanism. Information creates a category. The category generates a standard. The standard produces an expectation. And the expectation arrives before anyone asks for anything. You're not imagining it when a room feels different after news travels. The room actually is different. Everyone in it has silently updated their version of you. Not maliciously, just automatically. Now apply that to your life. When people know your number, they build a private model of what you should spend, give, and cover. Concrete version. A guy's mother finds out about his investment account by accident. She sees a statement on the counter. 3 weeks later she calls. Wants to talk about something. Won't say what over the phone. He visits. They have coffee. She doesn't ask for anything specific. But the conversation has weight it didn't have before. On the drive home, he's already doing the math. Not what she asked for. She didn't ask for anything. But what the new version of their relationship will require. That math started the moment she saw the statement. She didn't want his money. She wanted the version of him she'd invented. The successful one. The one who helps. They didn't want your money. They wanted the version of you they invented. The exit. Don't argue with the assigned identity. Don't perform it either. Just don't show the receipts that confirm it. Picture 2 people at 25. Same starting line. You couldn't tell them apart by looking. 10 years later, one of them looks like the success story. The other one doesn't look like much of anything. Mechanism 4. The quiet compounding advantage. The structural reason all of this matters. 2 people, same job, same starting salary. 5 years in, one looks like he's doing better. Nicer car, better clothes. 10 more years pass. The one who looks better is still upgrading. The one who looks the same hasn't changed his lifestyle in 15 years. Net worth gap at age 40, roughly 5 to 10 times. Same income, same opportunities, different visibility strategy. Behavioral economists Richard Thaler and Hersh Sheffrin published a paper in 1981 explaining why this happens systematically. They called it the self-control hypothesis. Saving isn't about willpower, it's about structure. Pre-commitment does what discipline can't sustain. The mechanism that makes silence powerful is exactly this. If nobody knows you have it, the pre-commitment holds by default. But the moment the wealth is visible, you're negotiating with your structure every time someone applies pressure. That's exhausting and expensive. Individually, each one is small. 12 months of them is a year of compounding interrupted. That's the real cost of visibility. Run the math. A $20,000 annual raise, not spent, just invested at 7% for 20 years. Over $800,000. The difference isn't discipline, it's interruption, or the absence of it. That's not a theoretical number. That's the cost of one lifestyle announcement, compounded over 20 years. Every announcement is a potential interruption. Every visible upgrade is a permanent baseline shift. Concrete version. 2 engineers leave school in the same year. Same first job. Same starting salary of $70,000. Engineer A updates his life with every raise. Better apartment at year 3. New car at year 5. Group trip every year. Engineer B doesn't update anything visibly. Same apartment until year 8. Same car for 10 years. Invests every raise immediately. Year 15 reunion. Engineer A looks like the successful one. Engineer B's net worth is around 8 times larger. Nobody at the reunion knows. His silence wasn't modesty, it was infrastructure. The most valuable thing he built wasn't in his portfolio, it was the absence of an audience. He didn't need unusual discipline. He didn't need to be wired differently. He just never created the audience that requires feeding. That's a structural advantage, not a character trait. Silence isn't modesty, it's infrastructure. Now here's the obvious objection. Doesn't this make you isolated? Doesn't constant discretion turn into low-grade paranoia? Real concern. There's a version of this that becomes pathological, where you can't share anything with anyone. The distinction matters. Discretion isn't secrecy from everyone. It's the absence of public announcement. 1 or 2 trusted people knowing your real numbers, a partner, a close friend, a financial advisor, that's healthy. That's accountability. The problem is announcement. The problem is letting your wealth become a topic in rooms where you're not present. 1 person who can call you out for hypocrisy is worth more than 50 who applaud the announcement. 3 practical moves if any of this hit a nerve. 1. The 90-day rule. After any significant financial gain, no visible lifestyle change for 90 days. Period. The bonus, the raise, the inheritance, it stays invisible for 3 months. Long enough for the dopamine to settle and the math to clarify. A useful rule. Wait 90 days before making visible lifestyle changes. It gives the emotion time to cool and the math time to clarify. You're not lying. You're just not announcing. Those are different things. 2. Separate the knows from the needs to know. Most people in your life are in the outer ring. Keep them there. This isn't ranking people by worth. It's matching disclosure to the actual function of the relationship. The outer ring doesn't get numbers. They get honest non-answers. That's not dishonesty, it's appropriate calibration. 3. The invisibility test. Before any significant purchase, ask 1 question. If nobody would ever see this, would I still want it? If the honest answer is no, the purchase was always for the audience. An audience purchases drain wealth faster than anything else. The test works both ways. If the answer is yes, buy it without guilt. Discretion isn't deprivation. It's just removing the audience from the equation. 1 book pairs well with this video. Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money treats wealth as behavior, not math. Link in the description. It may be an affiliate link, just so you know. The guy from the beginning. The 42% raise. The flat savings 6 months later. His mistake wasn't celebrating. It was announcing. Different categories. A version of him exists where he kept the news in a smaller circle. That version's savings line went up over the same 6 months. Same raise, same job, same friends, different visibility strategy. Your first serious money is fragile. Not because the market is rough, but because attention is heavier than people realize. When you save serious money, the smartest move is also the simplest one. Say nothing. Let it compound in the silence. That's where wealth actually grows. If this hit, subscribe. The next video breaks down another pattern most people don't see until it's already cost them. I'll see you there.